been a while. We're getting ready to make some Dutch oven lasagna, and we're going to use both the rocket stove and the Dutch oven. Okay, well, we got 1 pound of sausage frying up here, and I'm mainly here just for the food. My wife knows the recipe a lot better than I do, so I'm going to let her explain it.
Okay, so we're making the sauce for the lasagna, and this is our general pasta sauce that we use for spaghetti or chicken parmesan or lasagna. And we're starting out with 1 pound of sausage. You can use pork sausage that we're using today, or you can use an Italian sausage or whatever sounds good at the time, or whatever you have on hand. So it's just about done. So we're going to go ahead and add the onions. And I chopped up a large onion. I chopped up a large onion, and I kind of didn't do it evenly. I just kind of rough chopped it. If you like large chunks, go for it. If you want to make it more fine, just however you like your onions. And we're going to do that. Now you notice we didn't drain the grease from the sausage. You can if you really want to. There's not really a lot of grease in this sausage, and it'll add to the flavor of the spaghetti sauce, and it'll actually reduce down some more as it simmers in a little bit. So we're gonna let the onions cook for about, probably about 5 or 10 minutes, just to kind of get a little soft, and let the sausage finish cooking. So when that's done, we'll continue on with the recipe. Okay, we're gonna add our seasonings now. The onions are looking pretty tender and the meat is all cooked, so we're gonna add in our garlic powder first. That's good. Yeah, it's good. About 2 tablespoons, give or take. It's really personal preference. We like garlic here, so. And then on top of that, we're also gonna add some Italian seasoning. And that's gonna be anywhere from 1/4 cup to 1/3 cup of seasoning. I'll tell you when. All right, give that a shot, give it a stir. And do it to your personal taste. If you like a lot of seasoning, go for it. If you like less, do less. I mean, the great thing about personal spaghetti sauce or homemade spaghetti sauce is you can do it however you like it. You can use fresh garlic. I failed to chop it up, so we're just gonna use powdered garlic today, but feel free to use fresh.
If you're gonna use fresh garlic, when would you put it in?
You can put the fresh garlic in with the meat and the onions, because you'll want that to cook up. Actually, I'd probably put it in before I put the meat in, just for a few minutes, and then add your meat on top of that. But the garlic will cook better with the fat from the sausage. It gives it that we don't have to add any additional fats. Okay, let's look. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So everything's coated. Now we're going to add the tomato sauce. And we're adding a large can, the 29 or 30 ounce cans of tomato sauce. There we go. Any brand is fine. You can use a chunkier tomato sauce if you like. We just go with a straight sauce. I do have other variations of the sauce that I may bring to you later. This is our more simple version of our sauce. But overall, it's all really simple. All right, so we're gonna stir that, incorporate that. We're gonna go ahead and let this sit and simmer so it can reduce down, get a little thicker. And in the meantime, we're gonna go mix up all the cheeses that we're gonna start layering our lasagna with. And I'll bring you that in just a few minutes. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put together the cheese mixture for the lasagna. We've decided to come back into the RV, less wind and less risk of ash getting into our cheese mixture, which would not be so yummy.
Ash is good.
No, ash is not good. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add some ricotta cheese. I'm doing a lot of cheese. This is a 32 ounce container. You can do less if you're not going to make quite as big of a lasagna. We like cheese in our lasagna, so we're going to go all out with cheese. You can do a lower fat ricotta, which is what I'm doing here. Or you can do the full whole milk ricotta cheese if you prefer. Both work well. I've done both. So, but with the amount of cheese we use in this batch, we're trying to keep out some of that extra fat. But it is lasagna after all.
Plus there are 6 of us.
And there are 6 of us. So. Alright, so 32 ounces of ricotta cheese and 24 ounces of cottage cheese. It does not matter what percent fat or small curd, large curd, does not matter. It's all personal preference. I prefer a smaller curd with a lower percentage. In this case, I think it's a 2%. Yep, 2%. Alright, so we have that in there. And then we're adding a bag of Parmesan cheese. This is a 1.5 cup, 6 ounce. You can use 8 ounce. Doesn't really matter. This is basically what I found that was lesser of the expensive cheese. Alright, we just mix all this in. And just for a little added flavor, I'm going to go ahead and add some Italian seasoning to this as well. Just going to sprinkle a little bit in there. And a little bit of garlic as well. Again, we like garlic, so. I think I'll do a little bit more Italian seasoning. I like to be able to see my seasonings. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the cheese mixture. Now what we'll do is we will check our sauce and see if it's complete. In order, I mean, if it's thickened up, reduced down a little bit, and then we'll bring it in there and we'll start assembling our lasagna. So see you in a few.
Alright, well, we're checking on the sauce out here. And I put it up on 2 bricks to simmer. There we go. And she said she wanted it thicker. I can't tell if it's thicker or not. Not very soupy. Well, it looks soupy to me, so we'll see if she likes this or not. Alright, the sauce was a-okay. We have our 12-inch Cabela's cast iron Dutch oven, and we're getting ready to start doing the layering.
Alright, so we've got our sauce. I don't know if you've seen it outside here. We've brought it back in to do our layering, and so you can see how it's thickened up a little bit, so it's much more of a pasta sauce than tomato sauce now. So the first step is to put sauce at the bottom of the pan. And you don't need a lot, just enough to kind of spread around a little bit, something that your noodles will lay on top of. And we usually get about 3 or 4, if not more, levels in the Dutch oven.
I don't know, I think we used our smaller Dutch oven last time.
Yeah, I think we may have, so we may not get it. Alright, well, it doesn't have to be pretty, no one's going to see it, you're just going to eat it. Alright, so we're going to take some lasagna noodles. I'm using the oven ready ones today. These are the ones that you do not have to boil. I've actually used the ones that you're supposed to boil, but I've not boiled them. And I've done the same thing I'm doing here. I just layer the bottom with the noodles without actually boiling the pasta first. And
I like it that way.
yeah, I've never bothered. There's enough juices in all this that the noodles will actually cook up on their own anyway. So there's no reason to do that. Now if you wanted a smaller or a shorter cooking time, then you can go ahead and boil the noodles ahead. But you don't have to. So we're just going to put some of these pieces in the bottom here. Like I said, this isn't going to look pretty, but it doesn't really matter. Alright, next step is our cheese mixture. Throw a couple slabs in there, and then I would work the way of the grain of the noodles, just because otherwise you're gonna they're gonna move around too much. But like that. All right, try to get as even a layer as you can. And there's no right or wrong. If it's not perfect, it doesn't really matter. It all comes out in the wash anyway, or in the spoon. Yeah, this one's gonna be trouble. Alright, good enough in my opinion. Alright. Okay, so from there we're going to add now a layer of meat back on top of this. You know, I don't like the handle there. There we go. Sometimes the messier it is, the yummier it tastes. Alright. and then another layer of noodles, and then the cheese, and so on. So when we get this all layered up, we'll come back and show you what we got at the end. Okay, so we just finished our third layer, and we're getting ready to start our fourth layer with the meat sauce. I am down to just over 3 of these pasta shells. I do not have many left, which is the way it should be. And so we're just going to kind of throw a few pieces in here, and that's going to be about it. Alright, next layer is the last of the cheese. Again, this is our 4th layer, so we did pretty good in the Dutch oven. Typical 3 to 4 layer lasagna. May not be a lot of cheese in this last layer, but okay. Alright, we have a little one that's coming in all upset. Alright. She wants to go out, they want her to come in. Alright, so our last layer of cheese. Again, this doesn't look pretty, but you know, that is the nature of the beast. Actually, it does look pretty good. Alright. Now the only difference, the variation here is instead of doing meat sauce and then another layer of noodles, we end with our meat sauce. Okay. Last little bit of meat. Oh, this pan is so heavy.
Here, let me get it.
Nope, I got it. Oh, I got it. Weak wrists. Alright. There's not a lot here, but that's okay. We just need something for our mozzarella cheese here to kind of melt all over. So we're just going to cover this up. I don't think they know that she followed.
Yeah, I don't think that they did.
Don't you yell at Michael. Or right up there. Okay. Sorry, we had some children.
She's already.
Our two-year-old is wanting to be with her big brothers. All right. Last but not least, we're going to put our mozzarella cheese. I just do a 2-cup bag of mozzarella cheese. I'm going to try and do this with the camera in my hand, because my husband took off to go check our 2-year-old. Alright. I guess that's the fun part of having 4 children, and one's out doing his archery practice and the other 2 are just being children. Alright. Well, I can't get the cheese open, so give me just a second and I'll come back and I'll get that mozzarella cheese on for you. Alright, welcome back. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties in the production room here. Alright, so I see I got my bag of cheese layered all over my lasagna mixtures here. And that is pretty much it. So the only thing left to do is to pop the lid on top and take it out to the coals. So we'll catch you in a few minutes. Alright, so we're getting ready to put our coals on our Dutch oven. We have a stand that we have our stove sitting on next to our rocket stove here. You can do this in a regular oven. I have done it in the cast iron in a regular oven at about 350 degrees. And to get 350 degrees, or approximately that, we do a 3-to-2 ratio, or sorry, a 2-to-1 ratio of coals outside, where we will put, sorry honey, 10 on the bottom, 10 to 12 on the bottom, and 20 to 24 on top. And that pretty much achieves about a 350 degree, 375 degree temperature. It varies based on the fact that our coals have been out here a while, but it gets pretty darn hot. So, and it will take about an hour to an hour and 15 to soften up the noodles and complete the process.
How many on the bottom?
Let's go with 12 on the bottom.
These are nice and hot.
Yeah, these are very hot. Which is good, because we really want to get it set up and get going. And the reason why you put more on the top than on the bottom is that for baking items, you want more of your heat on the top. And if you're frying items, you put more of your heat on the bottom. So you don't put really anything on top when you're frying, which makes sense, right? But if you put too much heat on the bottom, you actually will burn your food quicker, a lot quicker than if you just put them on the put more of them on the top. All right, so we're gonna put about 20 to 24, give or take. See how many we have here. This is all approximation. If you get too scientific about it, you can go crazy with all the trying to figure out what temperature goes for what. I pretty much do the same temperature for almost everything I've cooked in this thing. So I have not tried this on wood. We've not actually put this in a campfire and actually tried it on wood. That is something we've not done. But if you give it a shot, let us know how it worked out. I'm being paged. Yep, she disappeared.
That's 20.
20? All right, go ahead and do a couple more. Yeah, go ahead and do 4 more. Ooh, there's one in the back corner there. Nice one back there. Yeah, go with that one. Okay. All right, so now we've got 24 on top and we have 12 on the bottom. We have a couple extra little bitty pieces. You shouldn't have to come back and do more, but just an FYI, if your items are going to need more than about an hour, hour and 15 of cooking, you're going to want to have more coals ready. These will burn down and pretty much be almost gone within the next hour or so. If you check your food and you see that you need more coals, go ahead and get some more started.
I'm going to get some more started anyways. That's
all
what
right.
I'm going to do.
And so we'll start a few more. We probably won't need very many though by that time. So. But again, these are oven ready noodles, so they shouldn't need a longer cooking time than those that would need to be boiled. But then again, I've never really had a problem with either one. So. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and let this sit here and cook for a while and take care of the little ones. And we'll come back when it's all done.
Alrighty. Look in there. Rocket stove is doing pretty good. Let's go and take a look at our lasagna. Now that looks pretty darn yummy. Okay, what I think I'll do now is, oh yeah, looking good. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and shut her down here. I'm going to take the coals off and then take this inside. Alright, there we go. Yeah, it's a lot easier to do styrofoam and plastic forks in an RV than it is dishes. A little bit of rotary action here. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Look at those layers. Looking yummy. It smells wonderful.
Can you open it for